Hey everybody, good evening. I'm Corey. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. And we're gonna jump right into Advent of Code. That's what we've been working on, and it is just after midnight. That means Advent of Code Day 3 puzzle just dropped. So let's dive right in. Day 3, Gear Ratios. You and the elf eventually reach a gondola lift station. He says the gondola lift will take you up to the water source, but this is as far as he can bring you. You go inside. And sorry, one sec. Need to turn down the music in my ear. It doesn't take too long to find the gondolas, but there seems to be a problem. They're not moving. Ah! You turn around to see a slightly greasy elf with a wrench and a look of surprise. Sorry, I wasn't suspecting anyone. The gondola lift isn't working right now. It'll still be a while before I can fix it. You offer to help. The engineer explains that an engine part seems to be missing from the engine, and nobody can figure out which one. If you can add up all the part numbers in the engine schematic, it should be easy to work out which piece is missing. The engine schematic, your puzzle input, consists of a visual representation of the engine. There are lots of numbers and symbols you don't really understand, but apparently, any number adjacent to a symbol, even diagonally, is a part number and should be included in your sum. Periods do not count as symbols. Here is an example engine schematic. In this schematic, two numbers are not part numbers because they are not adjacent to a symbol. 114 and 58. Every other number is adjacent to a symbol and so is a part number. Their sum is 4,361. Of course, the original engine schematic is much larger. What is the sum of all the part numbers in the engine schematic? Hey Opus, thanks for coming and hanging out with us again. How is it going? Okay, so let's get started. So we need to basically parse this, find all the numbers, and then find ones that aren't close to a symbol. 1114. Oh, interesting. And the numbers, it's not the individual digits. I should have known that from reading the example, but I was thinking it was individual digits that are close to a symbol. But it's full numbers. So like there's a whole range around a number that we need to consider here. Okay. That's pretty interesting. Okay. So just trying to think of how we're gonna want to parse this. Yeah, even diagonally is a little messed. Yeah, it makes this one a little messed up, right? And it even makes it interesting. And the whole number thing makes it interesting. I was thinking digits, and digits seemed relatively easy to me. But doing it with the whole number makes it a little more interesting. Well, let's get a cargo crate set up to write some code in, and we'll just see how we want to get stuff started here. So this is gear ratios is the name here today. So cargo new, and we do want it to be a binary, so that was the right thing there. And this is, oops, man, gear ratios. And then the name of it, because it starts with a number, so I can't have that be the name, is gear ratios. Add this to our top level cargo TOML as well. 03 gear ratios. Opus says, I think I know how I do it, but I definitely assume the width is static, and I'm not gonna do it because I like sanity. Hehe, that is very fair. Yeah, like I have some thoughts, and it's definitely not crazy, but I don't have a specific implementation in mind. But that's okay, I think. We'll just get started and see where we end up. Okay, so we should be able to now cd into our 03 directory and do cargo run. Oops, no slash at the end. Cool, just get our hello world. And so, awesome. And you said, though this time I'm not super tired, I slept during the day like a true nerd. I like that. I did actually also take a little nap a little bit ago, so I am feeling less tired than I could as well. Okay, so we have our sample. Oh, we don't actually have our sample input. Let's put that in a file like I usually do. New file, sample.input. There we go. Sample input now should exist. Okay, let sample answer part 1, and love it. It's figuring out, Copilot is figuring out how I like structuring these, it feels like. Part 1 takes in an input of a string and returns, like a U32 seems reasonable to me. Oof, okay, and now we actually have to figure out how we want to parse this. Does this want an unwrap? In our last one, we added myet here so that we could have things that return results, which isn't a bad idea. So we could just go ahead and make everything return results from the get-go, make it easier on ourselves. And we'll do a use so we don't have to type the myet result every time. Man, I am having trouble with my keyboard right now. And that's just an excuse for blaming it for me not being able to get it right. Oh, and I forgot we're in a workspace, so I'm going to have to add myet to this one as well. I could probably make it a workspace dependency, but I still would have to add it to each cargo.toml. But that would still probably be nicer eventually. Oh, Opus says, I also had a steak and it was the best thing I've ever made and eaten, so I'm very happy. That's awesome. It's always great when you can make something and it's like the best thing you've ever had. That's always a very satisfying feeling. That's awesome. I have a steak in the fridge that I'm excited for. Maybe tomorrow I'll make steaks. Okay, so how do I actually want to parse this? I have two thoughts. One is I can just get all of these into like arrays, or they'll be vex in Rust, but just two-dimensional array idea, and then just walk through each index, like go over them, maybe even just normal while loop style, not for in, so I can skip, but like start here, find this whole number, check if it's valid, and then skip to being after it, and then just keep looping. Something like that seems like it might be my best bet. So I think we're gonna just parse it into a two-dimensional array, and then kind of just while loop ij walk through it and find if we think it's gonna work out. Opus says it was technically an extra steak too, so I get another tomorrow. Ooh, even better. I bought 2 packs of steak instead of 3 individual steaks since it was cheaper, but still way more expensive than I've spent on steak by like 5 or 6 times. Worth it though. Yeah, it is unfortunate how much more expensive it is sometimes to get nice steaks, but I'm glad it worked out and sounds like it was well worth it. So that's awesome. Okay, so I think I just want to parse this to a nice two-dimensional array of characters. Yeah, I think so. So let's work on doing that. We have our input, so let's just do input.lines. We always want to break it into lines, and then I think actually I just want to map over those, and on each line we want to do line.characters no, just characters, because I don't want to parse them to numbers because I don't know they are numbers. So collect this to a vec and collect that to a vec. Let 2D array. Can I call it 2D array? No. Oh, because it starts with that. Yeah, so we can just call it array though. That'll work. It's a vec of characters. Perfect. Then I think I want to just go let mutable I equals 0, let mutable j equals 0, while I is less than array length. That's not at all what I want, but that's kind of interesting. While j is less than array at I.length. Yeah, okay, this walks through everything. Then this is an I plus equals 1 here. So this one should just walk us through the whole thing. So let's do 3 of these. There we go. And then the third one here is going to be array at ij. Oh, it wants a U32. That's fine. We'll just do a to-do at the bottom. Yeah, it did totally just make a tic-tac-toe like game in the middle. And it wasn't exactly tic-tac-toe, but it was counting in X's and O's and adding 3. It was very close to tic-tac-toe. Very strange. Wait, what? It's kind of what I was expecting, but not exactly. That didn't print nearly enough things. That printed 1, 2, 3, 4. It did all of the 0s to 9, but then it didn't ever increment my I. What's going on in my sample? And then so 4, 6, 7, yeah, dot dot 1, 1, 4 dot. Okay, so it did the first row perfectly, but then it didn't do the next row. While I is less than array length, while j is less than that. Lines, characters. What? Array dot length. Okay, so let's just debug out our array here. Did it not, like, did I do something wrong with my characters parsing? That feels like I didn't, though. No, it's all here. Okay. First array, second array, I plus equals 1. Yeah. I am confused, but this is silly. Like, what am I doing wrong here? Maybe I am more tired than I was saying a second ago. Hehehe. Because it does the first row perfectly, but then why doesn't it? This isn't in my loop. This is after it. Array length and array 0 length. Yeah, just give me all of that info. And actually, let's get rid of array. That's not very helpful. 10 and 10. Oh. Ha. I didn't reinitialize J. J hit 10 and then never made it inside again because I never set it back to 0. There we go. Now I know how to walk through an array, a 2-dimensional array. That was silly. I knew it was going to be something silly, but I just wasn't seeing it. Okay. So now we can walk through each item. And so like I kind of want to have a way to keep track of if we are in a digit. So like let digit started at equals none right now. And this is mutable. So like if array, actually, so let's do let c equals array at ij, just so we don't have to grab our c anymore. Oh, I think you'll figure out what I want in a second. Actually, no, we'll tell you. It's an option of a usize because it's an index. Because I'm going to say that numbers can't span rows. Those are going to be separate numbers, and I think that's going to be a fair assumption to make. Which also means that I actually want this to maybe restart at the beginning of every loop too. I think I do. Okay, so... Oh, hey! Thanks for the follow, and thanks for getting me to stand up and stretch. Let's do that quick. Oh. I'm actually just gonna, let's do this real quick. I have this standing desk, so we might as well crank this up really quick. There we go. We'll spend 5 or 10 minutes coding like this at least. Okay. A little more. Thanks for joining and thanks for the follow, Matt. Oh, that's at least part of what we want there, Copilot. Because I did want to check if we are now at a digit. I really like having the standing desk. I kind of just like no, I've had it for a while, but I hadn't used it very much. But trying to use it again more, trying to use it more again now, and it's really really nice. I like it a lot. Okay, so if C is digit, I want to figure out if we have a digit set. So if digit set is none, set it to our J value. Yep, that is what I want. This if statement can be collapsed. Oh, sure. Well, actually, I'm not positive about that yet. And yes, we are doing Rust, Matt. What is that used for? What is Rust used for? Or what is a specific piece of syntax used for? Rust is a systems language, but I like using it for all kinds of stuff. I'm a web programmer, so I do kind of webby stuff in Rust for the most part. So if this is a digit, and we haven't started yet, we start. But if it's not started, if it already is started, I think we're just not doing anything, right? We just keep going. Okay, so if it's not a digit though, what do I want to do? Oops. Okay, so if we did have a number started, oh cool, so that's just going to print out the number. Let's just see if that works. Let's just walk through and see if we see all of our numbers printed out. Oh, we have a syntax error. Uh-oh. Oh, semicolon. No. If let... Oh. That if let didn't get closed. There we go. Ooh, we have an int parse error. That'll be interesting. Missing a closing. Yeah, thank you, Opus. You found it. I missed some chats. Let me go look. Opus says, for me, it's absolutely perfect because standing is so much more stimulating for me than sitting down. And due to my autism and ADHD, sometimes I really just need to stand. And since I'm 6'3", it's not really possible for me to stand and touch my computer. Oh yeah, being 6'3" without a standing desk and trying to do standing desk style stuff does not sound like it would be fun. And I do some JS, Matt, but for personal projects, I like doing Rust because it's a fun language and I like it a lot. It's not necessarily what I would say is like, you know, the best language for that kind of stuff, but I enjoy it a lot. So, I try to use it for everything if I can. Okay, so this can't parse, which is interesting because, I thought we'd be at digits. Oh, J -1 probably because we're not a digit anymore, so I don't want to go all the way to J. Number 46. Oh, well, that's not what I wanted. Oh, but I also now I need to set digit started at to none. I think that might have been my issue. There we go. Okay, 467, 114, 35, 633, 617, 58, 592, 755. Perfect. Perfect. Opus said, probably going to lurk most of the stream, want to work on this new project, which is basically me exploring, maintaining a large Rust project and patterns and ideas I have in my head. Yeah, awesome. Feel free to lurk. Have fun. That sounds like a fun project. I like working on new patterns and ideas, so definitely have fun. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll chat with you later, Opus. But we have it at a place where we can find all the numbers, so now I need to figure out what I want to do here. Do I want to add all of them to some kind of structure and keep the indexes and then go through that after and process them? Or do I want to, like, right here just try to figure out if this is valid and only keep it if it is? I think I'm going to add it to some kind of structure. So let's make a struct of the information I want here. So, like, I want the number, which we'll say is a U32. And I want the, like... Oh man, what did I call that? So I guess I want to call that the Y position is fixed. So we'll do that, and then X start and X end, and that'll kind of be our bounds here. Ooh, Opus says the project itself will kind of be like a self-hosted e-commerce solution thing. Ooh, that's fun. Especially fun because I like full stack e-commerce things like that. That sounds really fun. We'll have to chat about that more later for sure. Grid number? I don't know. Not a great struct name, but I think it's fine. Okay, so here we can create a grid number. Let grid number equals our number. Y is our I, and we go from start to j minus 1 is our end. Perfect. And then we can print line, and let's just print line our grid number now. But that's not going to work because I didn't implement debug yet, but we can do that really quick. Oops, not collapsing that. Derive, debug, and partial equal, might as well. Copilot wanted me to. Oh, well, that just added them, but yeah, we see the printouts here, all nice. Okay, so now we should have all of our... Oh, no, we haven't actually put them in an array yet. Let grid numbers equals a vec. Oh, cool, I did change it to the right. You can actually use any kind of bracket here for the vec macro, but I like that it's auto-correcting them to square brackets because it's the one that makes the most sense. Grid numbers, push grid number. Oh, this needs to be mutable. And let's get rid of the printing. We don't need that. Okay, so now we have all our grid numbers. So let valid grid numbers. And actually, let's not do the let. I think I can just do this mostly inline. So from grid numbers, dot filter. And actually, what do I want to say about them? It's whether they're a part number. So like filter for our grid number, and we're going to do grid number dot is part number. And we're going to pass it a reference to our array here because I think it's going to need that. And then on the ones that are part numbers, we want to map over them and get... Oh, sorry, I forgot this iter call. We want to find the ones that are a part number, map over them to get their number, and then sum them to get a U32. Except expected a result found. Oh, that is easy. We can just say that we want to give you an okay of these. There we go. And then is part number does not exist, so let's generate that method. Cool. Okay, so is part number. So it's a part number if any of the positions around it is a symbol. So let's see how I want to do that. So we got to go from the Y's before and after, and even diagonal. So it's basically just drawing a box around it. So we're going to do, it's kind of like we want to go Y minus 1, Y, and Y plus 1. And like, oh, these need some cells to know what the Y's are here. So like we want to do these ones for... so like these are the let Y's or something. Because I can just do, yeah, like for new Y in this array. And then for new X in this one is more like, oops, I don't want to do a for in for this. I'm going to do let mutable X equal new X equals 0. Or actually, no, it's self dot start. Nope, we start at start. Oh no, it is minus 1 because I need to do the whole next to it thing. Oh, it doesn't like the return type. Let me just add a to do down here so that it doesn't highlight the whole thing for us anymore. Mismatch type. Oh, expected semicolons. Does it want semis at the end of my fours here? Ah, I lost my mouse. There it is. Okay. Oh, this isn't in the right spot. Got it. There we go. Okay. While new X is less than or equal to, yep, self.xend plus 1. Okay, perfect. If because these are U sizes, so I actually might not want them to be U sizes because I need to do negative here. Because this is gonna panic at 0 minus 1 at the moment. So can I do like checked sub? Yeah, checked sub 1. And this one's a sum. And this one's a sum. The only one that could possibly not exist in U sizes is subtracting. And then from here, I can do iter flatten. And that's going to get rid of any nuns that exist. And then so this is, oh yeah, this already is just the U size, perfect. So we don't have to check for less than 0. I think I can just do that. That we had references. I needed actual U sizes, and then the same thing here. So this is really whether it's a symbol. Can I like do that? Is there like is symbol is punctuation? And I think I then want and it's not equal to a period. Because the period, they said, doesn't count as a symbol. And if it is punctuation and it's not a period, then actually this is a return true. Because then we found the thing. And if we never found it, we return false. And this is actually probably just going to remove the return, just be false. So if you found a punctuation anywhere, then it is a part number. And if you make it all the way through, it's not a part number. I think I want to try this. Oh, this might panic. So let's do, I need to make this a dot checked sub dot unwrap or and I don't want to unwrap or that. I want to unwrap or x.start, because if you can't subtract, use this. And actually, wait, what did this want with 0? Manual saturating. Oh, because I could just do saturating sub. That works for me. I like that. Cool. Okay. So is that just it? And then then I need to like debug out my the sample answer. 4361. 4361. Perfect. Let's grab my input. Oh, wow, that's a big input. My dot input. Paste that in. Let my input. Let my answer part 1. Debug my part 1 answer. Big number. Oh, okay. That's not quite right. If you're stuck, make sure you're using the full input data. There are also some general tips. Okay, so that's unfortunate because it's always unfortunate when your first guess just doesn't nail it, because then I have to go bug hunting. Oh yeah, okay. I just submitted too quickly. That's fine. But I don't think it worked. I wonder if, I don't think I like my is punctuation. Oh, wait, no, but is punctuation worked for all of these? Like even that counted as punctuation? I'm a little unsure of what I think is going to count as ASCII punctuation. Oh yeah, that is basically all the things that I would have wanted to use. Yeah, that actually seems right. And then periods don't count. Do I have? Oh, I do. I have a nice standing desk mat. I wasn't using it. And so now that is much more comfortable to stand. That's unfortunate. I really thought that was just gonna do it, especially when it worked for the sample. So I wonder why it's not working here. If it is punctuation and it's not a period, then we return true, else we keep going in our loop. Less than or equal to x plus 1, because we still check it when it's plus 1. If it's greater than or equal to the length. Yep, if it's greater than or equal to the length. Yeah. This is an interesting one. Need to figure out what we're doing wrong. Is there different punctuation that I'm not including here that I think I need to? Not that I'm glancing at. This is all the ASCII punctuations. These seems like these are all will all count. Yeah, star. All of these are the symbols that I expect to be included. Uh-oh. It's never fun when I don't have an idea of what to debug because my inputs are so big. That it's really hard to say. Okay, so let's read this again and see if I missed anything. The engineer explains that you can add up all the part numbers. There are lots of numbers and symbols, and you don't really understand. Any number adjacent to a symbol, even diagonally, is a part number. So diagonally means one in the X and one in the Y. So I need to go, when I'm checking, I need to go one lower in the Y and one higher in the Y. And I need to start one lower in the X, and I need to go to one higher in the X. And if we're already bigger than the array length, I don't actually know if I need this check here. If the new X is bigger than the array here, then we just increase it and continue. We don't actually need the increase it. We just continue. Did that change our answer? Oh, wait. That's interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Why is that? Oh, I could just do that here. I could do, which I just never did. If, yeah, that. Now I don't need to check this. Okay, yep, same number though. Okay. We go from 1 minus our y, we do our row, and we do the row below us or above us, depending on which way we check, but that should be fine. We go from the start to the end. If it's punctuation and it's not a period, we return true. If you make it through all of that, you return false. Oh, I don't think I need that either, right? Yep. This is interesting. Not sure what I think I should do here. Do we have any samples? Yeah, like where they... No. I was wondering if there was anything where it ended with a number and started, and if they were like trying to wrap and continue. But that feels weird, especially if they didn't give me an example that does that. This is the part of the stream that if anyone has an idea what edge case I'm missing, I'd love to hear it. Hehehe. But it's okay if you don't. I'm not seeing it either, but I thought I'd throw it out there. Like, I could just hard code a different list of punctuation, but I don't feel like it's that. Because I feel like ASCII punctuation really feels like it's covering all my bases here. I don't think I'm seeing symbols that aren't these. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, I think those are all the symbols. Oh, I need to do some stretches. Oh, well, I never actually clicked the accept your request up there, so we will now officially have marked off the stretch goal from earlier. Thank you, Matt. So we get all of our numbers, and like I could figure out how many numbers we have here, but I'm not really sure that's going to be super helpful. And I don't want all of the grid numbers, unfortunately. But I can see how many there are. Like there are 1,220 of them. That seems reasonable. How many of them are grid numbers? Dot count, I think, is an iter method. Oh. Put that after the filter, though. Yeah, and most of them are part numbers, sure. We filter out a bunch. Okay, so I guess maybe give me something that's not a part number and I can check it? Yeah, I guess I can do that. I don't need the length. Let's filter for the things that are not a part number, and then collect it to a vector. Oh. Sorry about that. Had a big sneeze. Didn't want to do that right into the mic there. So like the number's 11, starting at 139. So like 139. 139. Oh, is it this one maybe? 140? Oh yeah, 0 indexed. Yep. That definitely looks like a part number. And then the next one's gonna be, nope, that's 73. Yep. And then 45. And then 729. Yep. 928. 208. Nope. Nope. No, did I just do that one? I did. 67. Yep. So far, not finding one that the computer missed. Nope, those are both valid. Diagonal, that one's good too. Nope. No. 28. 28. Yep. I'm doing this by hand basically at this point. 445. I don't know about this. This is seeming like 891. Yep. I'm really not seeing where this is gonna be. So 15, that's the next one. Okay, let's just actually look through, but no. Yep, okay. 367. Yep. 701. Yep. This is silly. How about this? I have an idea. When it prints false. When it goes is part number and prints false. What I want to do is I want to do a print line of like I want to do a print line of the whole thing from where I was. Like I want to print out the whole grid around it basically, but that's not as easy as I would like it to be, is it? Because then I could just like look at them all, right? And see. Yeah, that's not as easy as I want it to be, and I'm not sure if I think it's actually as helpful as I want it either. 128, so there's a 789 in this one. Yeah, this one. 887 in the next one. Yep. And then the 365, yep. And I don't feel like there's any that I'm missing either. Like I haven't found one that the computer missed. Mm, 586 is the next one. 571. Oh wait. 582. Oh, that's this one. 582. Yep. Oh, and then I went up to 586, but that one's not real. $751, yeah. 42. Yep. I don't really want to go through all of these lines. I've already made it through more than I really wanted to. And then 1. Yep. No, 668. Yep. 193. Yep. 185. Yep. Nope. Nope. No, 992. Yep. Wow. We're just gonna do this one by hand, it looks like. 42. Yep, and it even counted it correctly at the beginning here. Oh, wait. I think I know my edge case. Where is there's a 264 missing on line at row 55. I bet this is it. I know it. Oh man, I even thought about this earlier and then just kind of forgot about it. At 264. Yep. Okay, I got it. It doesn't count ones at the end. And that is because in my looping for finding the numbers, when we run out of rows here, I never recheck this. So right here, digit assigned to is never read. Yeah, that's fine. Now let's try this again with some less printouts. Oh, I think I already removed the printouts. Then that started looping. Okay, so this is after we finished looping in this direction. Yep, because we might have just kept increasing and never found the end of this. So if we found the end, oh, it's actually not j minus 1, it's just go all the way to j now. I think. Why is this seeming to infinite loop now? Because this shouldn't like be taking a long time. But it did an infinite loop before? So this is making it infinite loop. Sorry, I got a little bit of a runny nose right now. Digit started at, while we're going, if we haven't run out, if j is less than the length, but it's going to be equal to when we're here. To j minus 1, j minus 1. But like, what is it? How is this even? How is that causing an infinite loop? That's what doesn't make sense to me. Because if we end this, and there was a digit that started at, we do need to end that digit and add it as a row number. But like, are we getting in here? And is it like... Start 137. I'm just a little confused where we're at right now. So like, what is my I and my J, I guess? $91.40, and it just gets stuck there. That's interesting. 91.40, 90. So 91. So this. Why is it so stuck right there though? Debug grid numbers dot length, but it's not looping forever. And then we just move on to the next column. And in the next column, we said that there's not a digit started at, and j goes back to 0. So, what? Like, why is it hanging? So like, debug I and j here. $139, $139. Like, we're not... I'm so confused about what's going on here. And then it stops printing. It's like, where am I continuing to get stuck and looping? There seems to be a spot that I just keep looping. But I don't see where that is. If this isn't a digit, we're one past it. So actually this is the same. I don't need to do anything different here. This isn't j minus 1. This is just j. And that still stays as j minus 1. And if I wanted to do triple dots, I could do the go until version. Oh, but then I would need to subtract 1, so I don't need to do that. But it just stops? Do I need more debug statements? Because I can add more debug statements, but... And it's somewhere in here, right? Yes. For sure. Okay, so... IJ 139, 139, but then we don't... Okay, well, I am also printing IJ in multiple places, so let's get rid of that one, maybe? So now we just get I-139. Yeah, we don't run into one of those until 90. Got it. And then we get to the end, though. So... done. We're running into some interesting issues today, and I also just can't type, which is always an issue, but you know. Done. We're not going to get to done. Oh, we did get to done. Oh, okay. So is part number is the thing that's having problems. That's interesting. Why is part number having problems here? So it doesn't like things that go to the edge of the array? Oh, maybe this is where I did need this. I deleted at one point this that Copilot wrote for me. But that was causing an infinite loop. Okay, so let's read that. Why did I need that? Because I felt like I was gonna reset that once I called continue. If nx is greater than... Oh, because I still need it to keep going, so we end this while loop. Because once I hit this continue, I would just forever infinite loop. What I really could do is have this continue the for loop is what I meant. And I think if I label these, I don't know how to do that though. Outer, is this how I can do that? There is a way to do this. Where you can label the loops. Rust label loops. Nesting in labels. So you put it outer. And then I think I can do continue outer. Oh, not that one though. Well, that is also right, but this I can just do continue outer without needing to do that. And then this is actually going to be slightly more efficient because now I don't need to keep increasing x for something that I know we can't continue. I can just go and continue this outer for loop. So there's a nice little trick. I don't actually think I've used that before. So that was fun to use the named, what did they call this? Named nesting and labels. Awesome. Okay, we have a different answer. I bet this is right this time. I would have said that before too, though. There we go. Part 1 done. We got our gold star. Let's remove some debug statements. I've got too many of them. Oh, well. Debug, bang, remove. Remove. Those ones we'll keep. Then I think there's some more print lines that I also... Oh. Print line, yep. That was the only one? Okay, cool. There we go. GCA commit day 3 part 1. Let's see how part 2 is. Hopefully it's not too bad. The engineer finds the missing piece and installs it in the engine. As the engine springs to life, you jump in the closest gondola, finally ready to ascend to a water source. You don't seem to be going very fast though. Maybe something is still wrong? Fortunately, the gondola has a phone labeled help, so you pick it up and the engineer answers. Before you can explain the situation, she suggests that you look out the window. There stands the engineer, holding a phone in one hand and waving at you with the other. You're going so slowly that you haven't even left the station. You exit the gondola. The missing part wasn't the only issue. One of the gears in the engine is wrong. A gear is any star symbol that is adjacent to exactly 2 part numbers. Its gear ratio is the result of multiplying those 2 numbers together. This time, you need to find the gear ratio of every gear and add them all up so that the engineer can figure out which gear needs to be replaced. Okay. So I need to find any star that has 2 adjacent numbers. The star adjacent to 617 is not a gear because it is only adjacent to 1 part number. Yep, okay, so I need to find all the stars that are adjacent to 2 part numbers. Okay. So we have some modeling here that I think will help us. I think what I want to do is after we have our grid of numbers, I want to add a method to each of them. Like this won't be efficient, but I think it'll be finely efficient. For each number, we can find their potential gears, which is anything around it that's a star. And then once we have a list of potential gears, we can find any gears that are matches, right? Any potential gears that appear in two lists. If there's a potential gear that appears in two lists, that becomes a gear. Is that what I want to do? I don't know. Sounds fine, but it doesn't sound amazing. I could do the opposite. Like I have all the grid numbers. I could search for all the stars. Let's do that, I think. Let's find all the grid numbers, which I already have, and then let's loop and find each star, and then if it's a star, let's check the surrounding grid numbers. Let's check the grid numbers and see if there's two that are right around me. I think I like that a little better than doing it the other way. So let's get a function for part 2 set up. And so what I definitely want to do is I want to be able to parse grid numbers. So let's pull that into a thing that I can reuse. Extract into function. And the function is parse grid numbers. Awesome. It returns two things. The array and grid numbers. Do I need the array? Oh no, I do need both of those things. Yeah. Cool. I love that. And so we can use this for part 2, which I don't think... Oh yeah, I added the stuff for it. Okay. So now I want to do for line in array, and then for C in... Oh, I was going to do it this way, but with for loops, but I actually realized I need the coordinates, so I'm going to go back to let mutable I equals 0, while I is less than array.length, let mutable j equals 0, while j is less than array at I.length, j plus equals 1, I plus equals 1, and then add a to do at the bottom to make this stop being mad at me. There we go. Cool. Okay, so now we're looping through this, and I want to do let C equals the character here if C equals an asterisk. Now we want to do something. So let's do let neighbors, I think that's a fine thing, is grid numbers dot filter for grid number, and then so grid number dot next to is next to, and then we pass it our I comma j, and actually I don't think I need the array because this is just doing math on the indexes. It doesn't actually need access to see within anything. Yeah, I know that doesn't exist. If neighbors.length equals 2, I want to, what is it, multiply their things together. That's the gear ratio. The gear ratio is multiplying the two numbers together. So then Let gear ratios equals a vec. Gear ratios dot push. Yeah, I could actually like pull it out that way, but I'm not going to. Neighbors at 0 dot number times neighbors at 1 dot number. And now we just have to define this is next to method. I comma j is these u sizes. Okay, so if how do I want to do this? If I'll do like an absolute difference thing. So self dot y dot absolute abs diff. Yep. Diff of I is greater than 1, return false. If j is less than x, self.x start, or j is greater than the end, return false, and then if nothing else, return true. That might work out. Cool. Oh, gear ratios. Oh, yeah, make that mutable. So then this is gear ratios dot iter sum. And so then sample part 2 answer is I didn't mean to do that. Unwhip. Bring back that. That's just an alias I have for getting rid of the last commit. Usually use it because I make whip commits and then I want to undo them. Cargo run. 0. Uh-oh. I don't think that was the right answer. So I feel like is next to is probably broken. Because like I bet that whoa. Okay, I was hopping around all over the place there. Debug, I just want to debug out C here and just make sure that we are actually looping through everything. Yes, we are. Awesome. And then I guess I could have just done that in here too, right? This is, we are seeing some stars. Yep, there's only 3 of them in our sample, but that's okay. That makes sense though. That means there's not actually very many of these is next to's. I and J. Okay, so if the y diff is greater than 1, so if it is 1, that's fine because we're within 1 of the y. Oh, if it's less than -1 or greater than +1, because we got to account for the next 2-ness. Uh-oh. Attempt to subtract with overflow. Oh, yeah. Saturating sub. 1. There we go. Big number. Is that the number I wanted? Yes, it is. Awesome. Okay, let's see if that is good enough for my answer as well. Woohoo, we got an answer pretty quickly. Yes, that's the right answer. And there we have it. That's going to wrap up day 3 of Advent of Code. What was this one called? This was gear ratios. We're going to wrap up day 3 of Advent of Code, gear ratios. That was a fun one. Let's make a commit to get that saved. Day 3 gear ratios. We got a little stuck in the middle trying to find that edge case of being at the end, and it's actually something I had like mentioned, or not sure if I had said it out loud, but I had definitely made the thought that I needed to account for things being at the edge here after I finished looping. So I'm glad that we got to the end of it and we finished that puzzle. Not sure why it wants that. I want you to push up without asking for that. There we go. Okay, yeah, so I don't really think there's anything we're gonna clean up. There are some unwraps that, you know, aren't the best, but I think it's fine for now. So I think that's about all. I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you for hanging out with me for day 3 of Advent of Code, and we'll continue with day 4 tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. See you later. Bye.